G'day, good evening, good morning. Thank you for listening. This is a medical cannabis show. I respect the law and I hope you do too. The discussions and topics today are for educational and scientific purposes, so they are fact-checked, and the papers that have been discussed will be put in the description below. I do not support recreational drugs. They will not be discussed. I only support medical cannabis. That's it. So today is an open topic. So if you're rewatching this back, like fast forward to some slides, you'll use the slide bar at the bottom and then go forward, and maybe 5-10 minutes into it is usually when we get some sort of topic, because at the moment there's none. So I'm just waiting for chat to arrive, and hopefully they'll have some questions or some discussion that will drive the topic for today's show. So I'm going to wait till 2 minutes, which is another 45 seconds, and think of something to say. And actually, if this is only gone for 10 minutes, that means that there was no real topic today. Which has happened a few times, which is all right too. That means everybody in Chatland's happy. So I'll wait till 2 minutes. It's another minute 40. Hello to 420 Fred. Another 5 seconds. No, I think 3, 2, 1, 0. It's 2 minutes. That means I've got to start and talk about what? I don't know. So hopefully some people listening will, Fred, and other people will put something in that we can discuss, and I can show some cool slides. Because my studies have gone through plant science, soil science, and microbiology, and all the lectures that I have, they're saved on my playlists. So if you want to have a look on that, and they're all pretty current too, they're all written in the last couple of years. So you can rely on the information, because with science, it's forever changing. So there's new technologies coming out and new updates will happen. So all these procedures and things like that will probably in the future be altered. But for the present, they're available in lecture form. So yeah, if you go to my playlists, there's heaps of them, probably thousands, plural, maybe 1,000 lectures. But if you put anything into the search engine there, you'll generally find something that's of your interest, because it's all agricultural studies. So it's to go with all the environments around and inside and outside and cellular, down to cellular level. It's quite interesting, actually. Well, I'm struggling a bit. 3 minutes and 23. No one's really arrived. Looks like it's going to be one of them shows. What else can be talked about? Usually the weather, that's forever changing. It's hard for me to get topics. A lot of my lives I've done in the past, I've covered a great deal of topics, and I don't like going over them. Repeating myself is what I think. So that's why I like for people to put things into chat, questions and discussions and stuff, and then I can really elaborate on that topic. So that's how I like to run the stream. Well, I'm glad that at least 420 Fred's rocked up, because I know that it's for somewhat working. Well, as you can see, I'm struggling to think of something to say. I was going to talk about the weather and the equinox coming up soon, I suppose. It's changing. It's interesting. Everywhere on the planet will be 12 hours sunlight and 12 hours daylight. Oh, unless you've got mountains, of course, and valleys. But yeah, that's in a week's time. So Nice, usually in the seasons. Seasonal weather, very good. Transitional weather. What's the northern hemisphere will be going into winter, sorry. And the southern hemisphere is going into summer. And also, sorry, if you live in Australia, because it's blooming hot. It's incredible. There's already places that are up near 100. Actually, they broke all the records. There's over 100 F it was in the last month of winter in a lot of states in Australia. It's ridiculous. Really hot. 5 minutes 45. It's 5 people. For those few people watching, can you please put something into chat of some sort of discussion topic or some questions or something like that? And then we can start the show. So at the moment, I'm struggling. And if there's been nothing in 235 seconds, it will be ending for today. Dun dun. And there hasn't been a short show for ages, for months now. So I'm definitely due for it. It'll get me all revved up for next week if that's the case. It'll get me excited. I might even have to look for a topic. If everybody out there is happy, go back to topics again. I thought I was not going to. I was putting just heaps of effort into the shows, hours through the week to try and get good topics through different papers and professional chat lines, agricultural chat lines and things like that, LinkedIn and research stuff. And I just realised I'm putting a lot of effort into this. I'm not really getting anywhere. So I changed it a few months ago just to open topics. So I've it's a bit more enjoyable. I don't have to do any preparation at least. I still enjoy it. I'll still continue to do it because, some of the studies I've been taught are pretty rad. New technologies, like plant nutrients even, that's changed. Went from 16 to 17 to 19, and it's back to 17. Hey, there's Raptor. G'day, Raptor. How you going, mate? How you going, Sunshine? Nice to see you. What's that? You think an open topic is great? Yeah, I think it's good. It just leaves it up for the viewer just to see if they've got anything on their minds and they've heard through the week that's a bit weird or odd. Which we've got 2 minutes left. So if there's been nothing put into the chat, it's going to be ending. Which is fine. I don't mind at all. So that means everybody's happy. Yeah, the open topic, I'll try at least till the end of the year and maybe change things up again. See how it goes. Because some of the topics have been quite interesting. And I like the challenging ones which challenge me, because it makes me have to do my little bit of research online. I like doing it online. We've got 60 seconds, 70 seconds. The nutrients sound interesting. Says Raptor. Yes. Nutrients are essential. 17 of them at the moment, and 2 beneficials. And 95% comes from the air. Isn't that a spin out? So you only have to give it 5%, hopefully organically, not mineralized and synthetic form. Let the plant work for itself. It's cool. 30 seconds to go. What do you reckon? Early stream? I could elaborate on the plant or microbes, nutrients. They're essential nutrients, but we haven't had an early show in a while. Sunshine said, if you look at soil growers on social media, they get barely any followers. People just want to see massive collars. Yeah, and get bud rot in the middle. Whatever they want, that's cool. Whatever they want, I don't mind at all. Well, I'm the technical person, so I know about the technical and the cellular level and how things work like that. So it's yield equals vegetative time. So that's all you've got to do to get that, and getting that is not really advantageous because it's a lot of bud rot happens. That's why it doesn't happen. People don't do it. Raptor says, so much effort for our part for the 5%. Yeah. All right. I'll at least talk a little bit about the plant nutrients. I was happy to end it. Wrapped up. But about the 17 essential nutrients. Plant development and growth. No, there should be a section on that. Deficiencies. Immune. Must be minerals. Nutrition. There it is. Here we go. So yeah, 95% come from the air. Isn't that a spin out? Let's get to that slide. Here we go. So this is as of 2010, and it's really good to see the updates because it went from 16 in the 60s, they added nickel, so it went to 17, and then it went up to 19 because they added silicon and nickel, zinc, sodium, manganese, boron, iron, chlorine. Here it is. They added those two, and they've been pulled them back now in the 2020s. And now those two are considered beneficial, not essential for its growth and development. But yeah, up the top, 96% comes out of the air. So 45% is oxygen fed through the roots, 45% is carbon, and 6% is hydrogen, which has the most amount of atoms to its size. And then it comes into the actual, so 96% out of the air, so, and then it comes down to nitrogen of 1.5%, and then potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. So isn't that amazing? It's mostly nitrogen, as you know, because they always get a nitrogen deficiency, and then potassium. And then phosphorus is right down here. Only 0.2% is required. And then these are so low that they're measured in parts per million. They're not measured in percents. So that's parts per million, so 100 parts per million. And look at molybdenum, 0.1 parts per million. So it's 1 part per billion. No, that's 10. But they're extremely, extremely low. But essential for nitrogen assimilation, molybdenum is. Anyway, it gets. So what are mineral nutrients? The nutrients that plants get from the soil. Okay. What is the source of oxygen? Most oxygen in plants are also obtained from CO2. The H is from water, and thus CHO are not considered as mineral nutrients. Because they're not, okay, there you go. All mineral nutrients together make up less than 4% of plant mass, yet plant growth is very sensitive to nutrient deficiency. Pretty cool. This is from a plant physiological book. Micronutrients are present, and very low. Already gone through that. How to classify all these macro and micronutrients. No, I'm not going to go into those details. Carbon chains. Different types that there are, because plant only recognizes out of all these minerals in a few forms. That's the most important bit. Where's that slide? Is this it here? Where's nitrogen? NH4? No, because it's NO3. This is kind of it. Calcium, well, it's calcite. Okay, that's not the slide I was looking for then. Maybe it might come to it. What's this one? No, doesn't say it either. It's the it's from 1991, so I won't discuss old stuff. Actually, there's a newer version of this one too. If I go into my yeah, let's go to that one. That'll be a lot better. How to find out what plants actually need. What is the minimum requirement for plants to survive? I'm going back in history. Different compositions of, okay, which part of the plant should show symptoms first of deficiencies? Not really going to touch into that. Oh yeah, this is important. The immobile and mobile elements. Well, calcium and sulfur are semi-mobile, but iron, boron, and manganese are immobile. So copper is semi-mobile as well. So this must be old. And deficiencies, they're pretty easy to, just the yellowing. All right, I'm going to go back and look into soil science. Nitrogen metabolization. There might be some cool stuff at the end though. There always is. Different studies. Just want to explain the essential nutrient elements. What's this say? Essential plant nutrients in soil. Oh, okay. 3 primary. Okay. That's just putting them into their classifications of non-mineral elements, which is said the first 3. Then it's primary, secondary, and micro. So the primary are the ones that it needs the most. Even let's go into the spot I want to go into study. Because that was a fantastic course. Isn't that one? Whichever, he's done 4 courses so far on soil, and I've done them all. Yeah, this is it. He understands. He just teaches stuff so well. Professor Chakraborty. Let's stick to the mineral nutrition. Here we go. This is the one I was looking for. The actual form that it's recognised by the plant. So you got your CHNO, then your NPK, CalMag sulfur, and then this is an updated one because you can see these are essential here, and then down the bottom is your beneficials, sodium, silicon, and cobalt. And then here, this next table is the forms that the plant recognizes. So with nitrogen, there's like nearly 10 different forms it can be in, but there's only 2 that the plant recognizes and can take. So nitrate and ammonium. And same with phosphorus. H2PO4 minus is 1, and H2PO4 minus, yeah, that's the first one which recognizes for pH. This is pH dependent. And an H2PO4 minus, H2, yeah, HPO4, just restart again. HPO4 minus and H2PO4 is the one we want, which is in the pH that's called orthophosphates. It's pH dependent. One's in the higher scale, one's in the lower scale. And then potassium, CalMag sulfur, cupric. These are the forms open. So that's exactly the ones that it recognizes. This one's sulfate in sulfur. And the micros are boron has 2 different types. It can be boric acid or borate, sorry. And these are pretty similar to what the original one is. The next long list of micros. Cool. Here we go. So this is the one. See, it's updated here. These are the immobile, and this has varying mobile, and this is a fully mobile. So immobiles, calcium, boron, manganese. And variable mobile is copper, zinc, sulfur, and molybdenum, and extremely mobile, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and iron. The reason why this is important is because this tells you where to look on the plant's leaves to see a deficiency. So if you see yellowing on new leaves, you might think, oh, it's nitrogen. No, because new leaves, it's immobile, so it's calcium, because those elements can't be moved around to be relocated into the plant. So that's just an example. Nutrient cycling, no. Just let's see if there's any questions, because I just wanted to skim on the essential nutrients. Already up to 20 blooming minutes. Nutrients. Nice, Fred. So much effort as for our part. There's no questions on it. I'll continue for 10 minutes then. Plant essential nutrients. So how do they get in? Well, nutrient ions move from soil solution into plant roots and are replenished from reserves in soil solids on soil surfaces, as this diagram shows. So the root hairs are out here, so the lateral roots of the root hairs, and as the elements go into the hairs, they exchange from cation exchange positions with hydrogen protons that get pushed out, and that makes a position available, and it can be cycled that way. There's also microbes that are very, very close to it, which can do the same thing. That's the easiest way to describe that. So you're having it immobilized, so you can have mineral forms sitting there, just like this, like synthetic minerals you've given from your fertilizer shop, or you can have immobilized ones, like in the clay, that might be bound up in organic matter, so it's bound up in clay, and it's relocated that way through the redox and the cation exchange. And this is pretty important, cation bonding strength. So if there's a cation sitting down there, sodium for instance, and an ammonium ion comes along, it'll bump it out. It'll just push it out because it has a weak bonding strength. So this goes up in strength. So if you've got hydrogen sitting there, or more so aluminum, that can't be bumped out that easy. So it's has to be broken down and bioremediated or bioaugmentated. So that's not good in the soil. So once it's got aluminium and aluminum in the soil, you're in a bit of strife because nothing can be exchanged with it that's really beneficial for the plant. Well, hydrogen can, but you want it broken down. What does it actually read to say? Cations which have higher bonding strength remains on exchange sites more strongly, which release into the soil water solution less easily than others. Relative importance of soil supply mechanism. So this shows there's a few ways to keep mineral elements in your soil solution from watering techniques. So if you do mass flow, which is pour heaps on and then it just comes out, okay, cool, you're going to supply mechanism. Actually, I'm not going to discuss this because it might be wrong. Nutrient mobility, understanding carbon, nitrogen. Oh, no, we're out of it now. Good. That's all in that area. pH. Well, you know that everything's pH dependent. So the first, if you get deficiencies, you check your pH first. Well, you should always be checking your pH anyway, routinely. It's something good to do just to make sure everything's good, because as the plants go on and on and on, the pH drops because there's more protons released, which is the H. So the hydrogen atom goes up with the concentration, which makes it more acidic. That's why liming is good, or chook manure. But you've got to use a lot of chook manure to actually remediate a pH problem. it's 20 tonnes per hectare to raise at 2 points. So if you've got a pH of 5 and you've got a hectare that you're going to put your agriculture under, you want to have 20 tonnes. So it's a lot. And actually, I'm not going to go into that. An inclusive overview of the dynamic soil-plant nutrient relationship. Oh yeah, this might be a good way to sum up. So fertilizers come in. So you put mineralized form in, which I don't support. I support organics, which is soil organic matter, and mineralization, immobilization. So once things are broken down, they've got minerals inside of them that are immobile. So microbes break them down and turn them into mineralized form, which makes them the same way. That's how organics work. So by using different types of microbes, like this one says here, this is nitrogen fixing bacteria, and you can get some nitrogen supplied out of the atmosphere for free. Or you can add nitrogen as a input as a fertilizer, which I don't support. Well, there's all sorts of losses. Microbes can convert them, and it goes back into the atmosphere. Seepage through surface water. So the pluses are cations and the negatives are the anions. So the bonding strength of soil has a slight negative charge. So your cations stick to it pretty good. So ammonium, the two forms that recognises nitrogen fertilizer. So ammonium is a plus, where nitrate is a minus. So the chances of it nitrate leaching out is higher because it's not going to be able to bind to the soil particles like ammonium can. And trap nutrients. Leaching again, okay. Deterioration, it's out forms, one microbes. Okay, that'll do for that chart. What's in the middle? Bioavailable. What's that? Things that are bio, meaning living, and available. So the microbes, they produce different elements as well. Bacillus mucilaginosus actually is a silica. Yes, or what's the ion chelating one? Up the top there, I'm trying to picture it. Oh. Nutrient imbalance leads to soil health deterioration. Yes, over time it can be very bad. This chart says soil organic carbon after 15 years of rice cropping with different NPK treatments. So the initial value was measured 97.45, okay. Then it went down and up and down from the different types of inputs that they put into it. But see, this is mineralized fertilizer. I like the organic approach. Basic nitrogen processes in soil plant systems. Well, you can mineralize, you can form. Nitrogen soil processes, mineralization, nitrification, immobilization. Mineralize is when you just give it its nutrient, its element. This says organic nitrogen conversion to ammonium. Nitrification is conversion of ammonium to nitrate. See the difference in the cation? There's a plus there, and this nitrate as an anion, which is a negative. And immobilization, inorganic nitrogen conversion to organic nitrogen. Righto, that's about it, I think. Yeah, unless there's questions, I'm going to, because it goes into heavy detail. And it's been about 10 minutes. You beauty. So plant nutrient, essential plant nutrients was today's show. So put your questions in right now, or I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, essential plant nutrients. That's pretty much it. I didn't elaborate much more. Just about the mobility, the deficiency area that shows So that's the sort of things I can put into the title. And yeah, that's what I reckon. That was pretty good. Plant nutrient, essential nutrients. And it's good to show the I'm glad I went and showed the updated versions too, with the 3 new ones that are beneficial, not essential. All right, well, thank you again for listening, giving me your ears. I hope today's show helped out a bit, and if it didn't, please save those questions till next week, and I can run through them, and I'll be happy to show more slides to bring clarification to your question. So save it till then, so it'll be good. Oh, Raptor says, how would you get an excess of sodium or sodium bicarbonate out of the indoor potting mix? Flush it with water. See, it's one of the lowest bonding strength it had on it. So it's going to be replaced by any ion that goes through with it. So it's a weak bonding strength. So sodium was the lowest on the cations. So if you put anything through, any type of a flush through it, you could use your runoff flush, for instance. So if you have a new potting mix, you could get some of your runoff and flush it with that, possibly. And that would swap the sodium bonding site to an ammonium or a calcium or magnesium, or those other ones. Deionized water would have a slight negative charge to it. So yet the reverse osmosis, you'd have to make sure it's below 50 parts per million, and then it would come under that category. And that would do that as well because of its deionized. So that means it's got no ions attached to the hydrogen molecule. So it's looking for something to attach to the slightly negative charge that it has. And sodium being the lowest bonding strength, it can easily attach to anything real fast. So that's probably even a better suggestion, is the deionized water. Yes. Or reverse osmosis water. Well, that comes into the category of 0 to 50 parts per million is deionized. And then spring water is 50 to 100 parts per million. So it has a few more minerals onto it, and that's why it falls in that category. But yeah, deionized water, good suggestion, mate. And that will flush it. So that's the same thing when you're flushing also. If you want to remove nutrients, you just put heaps of deionized water, reverse osmosis water through, and it just attaches to it and pulls them, sort of like chelate. Remember, chela stands for chlor in Latin. It's a similar type of process where it just binds to it, like that slide that was shown before. Very good. Very good. I hope that helps, mate. That will work. And you'll do some tests. You want to test it down to under 100 parts per million. So you'll keep flushing under 100 parts per million because you know about the salinity level. Once it gets up a little bit too high, that you're into above about 2,500, 3,000 parts per million runoff. That's what you're going to get salinity, and you get all sorts of problems where it's too many salts in that solution, so the plant can't uptake any nutrients. It's like it's just been too muddy, too bound. Oh, what's Rat to say? Thanks, my water municipality uses sodium bicarbonate, and I know that's detrimental to plants in excess. Holy mackerel, it is. That's actually how you kill trees. An arborist told me that they add salt to when they cut trees down or around trees, and it kills them for that reason. So definitely, I think they'd use that in their treatment plants in the water for microbes because they couldn't survive that well. The pH might be a bit high too. That's pretty interesting. Good. Yeah. All right. No worries. I'm glad that helped. Thanks for your nice words, mate. And that's about it. So thanks, everybody, for listening. I hope that helped somewhere else. I hope I helped somewhere. I helped Raptor. He helped me too. It goes two-way streets. Very good. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Happy growing, happy breeding, and good health to you all. See you next week. Bye-bye.